Oh, the lighting is always terrible in this basement. Hey everyone, Sophia here. I am going to do a sewing series. It's actually going on Patreon first, and then it will go on YouTube at a later time, probably like on a 3-week delay. And these are bonus videos on Patreon, by the way. They're not part of the content, they're just added videos. You know, I do 2 videos a week. This is like a 3rd video each week. So what am I making? I'm making a shirt. And I've had this pattern for over 2 years. And I think in one of the old videos where I was cleaning out the basement or arranging, I probably showed you this. This is New Look 6407. It's one of their most popular pattern. It's supposedly to be easy. I'm sure I'm gonna find ways to complicate it. You all know, by the way, disclaimer right here. I am not a seamstress. I've made 5 garments. It was okay-ish each time. I've worn none. Because I keep on making stuff that is either too big or too small or really not practical. So I figured this I'm gonna wear to work, okay? Because this is work appropriate. So I'm making this one right here with a little ruffle. It's a 3/4 sleeve, nice cardigan over it in the either white or either in white or navy blue. And I happen to be making it in pretty much the same fabric. So what I'm gonna do is a series. So I'm gonna do maybe 3-4 episodes of that, because I can't make a shirt in 1 episode, okay? So the first one is probably going to be prepping, cutting out and starting, and then after that I'll do maybe like 4 steps for each. It's again, it's supposed to be easy. So this is a, what do they call it? Does it have a name? It doesn't have a name. It's just a shirt. That's it. 6407 New Look Blouse. That's the name of the series. Let's get started. Alright, let's get started. And I gotta tell you, I'm super excited. I'm finally getting back to sewing, even though I still have a quilt I need to finish. But I've had this pattern and all of the supplies that I need for it for quite some time. I would say over a year. So it's about time I get started. So I am doing the New Look 6407, and it's a blouse with 3/4 sleeve, nice color V-neck opening. It is tapered, so it has darts, and these are all the views. So this is view A, B, C, D, and E, and I am making view C right here. So let me show you all the supplies, because when you buy a pattern, at the end right here on the back, they will tell you all the supplies that you need. For this particular shirt, I'm doing, I'm not very creative, and I actually washed this fabric already. I have this Liberty in blue and white, small flowers. The reason why I'm doing this is because I need this shirt to be work appropriate, and you can see when I say I don't have much creativity, that's basically what they have here for view C. So you need the fabric, and then it has a little bit of a lace ruffle in the front and on the sleeves. So I have this eyelet type lace, not too fancy. Always need some fusible. That's going to be for probably the shoulders and the collar. I haven't looked yet. You need some double folded bias tape and buttons. And I picked this type of buttons, kind of a seashell look, white. I could have done blue. No, I wanted something that would not show the buttons. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to look at measurement, and I already measured myself. And if you are new to sewing, I can only encourage you to start sewing as well, but I just want to let you know that the sizes that you see at the store are vanity sizes. So if you are a 10 at the store, you're more than likely a 14, if not a 16, when you start sewing. Nice. So don't be horrified like I was at the beginning. You have to do your measurements. So what I did for this one was measure my bust, which is a 40. And according to them, if I was a 40 bust, I would need to do an 18. But because this has to be a work appropriate shirt, I don't want any problems with the front, you know, like the shirt tugging or anything. So I'm going to push it to the size 20. This is what I'm going to do. If I make it too large, I can always stick it in right here and here on the waist. I'd rather have too large than too small, because too small, obviously, I can't enlarge it, but too large, I can take it in. And on the subject of sizes, you'll find out as you start sewing that you may be a 18 or 20 with the new look patterns. And then when you switch to McCall, you may be 16, 18. And then if you do a Vogue, you may be a 14, 16. So your size in one pattern is not your size across all patterns. So I'm going to pull this out. And what I'm going to do is, because I'm doing view C, I'm going to unfold everything and pull out everything that's a view C. And I'm going to roughly cut around those pieces of pattern, iron them, and they are going to be placed on the fabric. So for this video, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to cut all of my pattern pieces, iron them all, place them on the fabric, and cut all of my fabric, and maybe start sewing a little bit. So this is 12-18. We don't need that. It looks like this here is a 20. And that would be the front. And I'm going to need to cut two. So I'm just going to go around. I'm not cutting on the line. I'm just giving myself a little bit of space or allowance. And just looking at it, this is the center front. I have a feeling that 20 is too big already. But if it is, again, I can take it in. So what do I have? We have a back that gets folded on the edges of the fabric on the fold, so that will open up in one large piece. I have a front that needs to be cut twice because there's a right side and a left side. I have a neckband, and I have a collar. I have a sleeve, so we're going to cut it twice. And then this here is the front facing. Alright, and that again needs to be cut. It tells you cut two of the fabric. So, in the sense of the grain, that's what the arrow is for. I'm going to iron them first, and then we'll place it on the fabric. So if you follow the instructions on the insert for view C and your fabric is 44-45 wide, they show you exactly how to place your pieces of pattern on the fabric so that you maximize your space and don't lose any fabric. You would see that on the edge of the pattern it will have those little arrows here and here, and that basically indicates that this needs to be on the fold of the fabric. So the selvage is on the other side right here, and this is the fold. I'm going to put that right here following the line, and then it's to be exactly on the fold. And I also need to follow the grain, and the grain is that line they give you that is basically an arrow on the pattern. Let me find another one for you. Right here you'll see on the front there's an arrow that goes this way, right, with the little arrow here and here. That indicates the grain, and the grain of the fabric is parallel to the selvage. So since this is folded exactly straight, I don't have to worry about it, but for other pieces you might have to make sure that you're parallel. So I'm just going to pin this, and since the fabric is folded onto itself, when I cut it here, 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 and here, I will have the fold in the middle and I can unfold it, and this would be a one piece. Okay, everything is pinned according to directions, and I'm going to take my scissors and get started. So I'm using crimping scissors, and it's this kind of scissors here that has the little zigzag on it, and it will stop the fabric from fraying, so that way I don't do zigzags. And I'm going to start with the bottom and work my way up. This is a part that's took me years to figure out. I have those two little notches here, and they're basically marking points for when you're sewing. And I used to cut the fabric. I used to do little inward triangles for those. And one of you told me, no, 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 you're supposed to go outward. Cut the notch on the outside instead. And then I go right back onto cutting my pattern. I don't know if you can see the little notch here. Cut outward. So the back is cut. Discard this and this and this. And what I need to mark now are the darts. And the darts are basically a piece of fabric that you're going to fold like this, a particular way, so that it gives you this curve. It's more tailored. So they tell you exactly where the darts are, so you just follow the dots. And mark. And what you got to remember is that this is only half of the pattern, because remember there's a fold right here, right? So you got to remove the pattern and go find the and apply the darts on the other side as well, because there's clearly two darts, one on each side. parts here marked and here marked, and a neckband. Put that to the side and keep going. So I cut everything, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and iron. So I'm working with nice pieces that are nice and flat. And I gotta say, I'm not really good at cutting. I always use a rotary cutter because I quilt. Cutting with scissors is just not my my forte, but that's alright. I'm here to learn. Okay, moving on. This is round 2 for me. It's still round 1 for you. I'm going to do the pieces that require fusible. I had to buy some online. Fusible interfacing, and this one is a medium weight. So it's basically the same thing. You got to fold it because some of them you need 2 of them, like for the front, for instance. Okay, so I have 2 pieces. And the pieces that require the fusible are the front facing, and it will tell you it needs 2. See right here it says cut 2 of the fabric, so I'm going to put one right here, and this is the collar and cut 2, so I'll put it right here, and again I have 2 layers of the fusible here, and this is the neckband, and the neckband I need 2 as well, so put it right here. Get all my pins. So this was basically all the prep that was needed before we start sewing. So to recap, we have 2 pieces that are the front, 1 and 2. We have 1 piece that's actually the back. So I'm going to put it right side down. So that's the back. We got a front left. We have a front right. Okay, put it sideways so you can see better, maybe this way. Okay, there we go. We have 2 sleeves, Here's one sleeve. Here's two sleeves. Okay. And then in the ones that have been fused, we have a neckband. We have a front band. This is where all the buttons are gonna go, and the lace. We got a other front band. Notice how there's a V right here. All right, and then we have a collar. So the collar is gonna go like this. So I'm ready to start sewing. And the first step is to take the left and the right front, and right here at the neck opening we're going to do a stay stitch. That's basically a 1/2 of an inch from the edge of stitch that's going to go from here to there. So my understanding of the stay stitch is that it is meant at holding the fabric together so that it doesn't stretch when you start applying your other pieces. So my 1/2 an inch is right here, so I'm going to follow that, and I'm using the T4 setting on the stitches for my machine. Okay, so I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit less stretch to it. So that's just one. I'm going to do the other one. So my next step here is to make the darts. So there's darts in the back, and a dart is a tailored type fold, like this one here, one on the bust or underneath the breast, and one right here. It kind of gives it the curve that you want. Alright, so on the pattern, the darts are those dots that we had to mark, and basically what you do is that you join those dots together like this, and then you're going to sew on the line that joins the dots. So what I did here was use a pin and go from one dot to the other. I'll show you on the other one. And then I folded it exactly where it needs to be. I ironed it so that way I have a fold right here, and then I marked the line, and I'm going to sew directly on the line. So let me show you on the other one. Take your pin, you're going to grab one dot and go and grab the other dot. And once you have the other dot, you just let them slide like this and pin. Then I have another set of dots. Let me find them. Right here. One here. And another one there. Let them slide together and pin. And there's one right here at the bottom. This one is very small. Grab this one dot, grab the next dot, get it to slide together and pin. And then there's the one that's all the way on top right here. So this is the starter, and then this is the end. So I just fold it this way, and I'm gonna iron this. And once it's ironed, I'm just going to, so I pressed it right here, all right, to hold it in place. Then all I gotta do is find my dot, which is right on top of the crease right here, and I'm gonna go from this dot to the next one and mark a line. And then I'm going from this dot to the next one and mark a line. and then from this dot to the one over there, and mark a line. Okay, and I'm going to the machine and I'm going to sew directly on that line. So when you look at it from the front, this is what it's going to give you. You're going to see this fold right here, right? But when you look at it from the back, then you're going to have this fold here. Okay, moving along, these are my two fronts. So I have the main dart that's on the center, and then I have the dart that's right underneath the breast, and that one is pressed down. So if I turn it around, this is what it looks like. You get a dart here. Now you see how this dart is now creating this little bump. All right, that's for the bust. And then there's this one here that's going to taper the waist, and turn this one around. So you can see that this dart here is creating this little protrusion right here. That's for the bust. And then again, the one that's right here is to give it this tapered look. All right, so that's the front. What's the next step? For the next step, I need to take my trim, my little lace here, and I need to cut a piece that is 1.5 times the size of the front, starting at the V right here. So here's 1, and this is a good half, a little bit over a half. So I'm going to cut it right here, and I got all of this extra. So this is getting delicate, and this is where I really don't have the dexterity. You're taking the end of your ribbon and you fold it. Let me see, what's the front, where's the back? That looks like the back. Yeah, all right, so this is the back. You fold it once at about 1/4 inch, and you fold it one more time on itself like this, and you stitch straight up and down. Ugh. All right, one time, and 2 times. Basically what you're doing is closing it off. All right, next is handwork. I need to gather that ribbon. So what it means is that I have to do 2 rows of very wide stitches. 1 row here, 1 row here, leaving some extra on the side, and then when you pull them, you can gather your ribbon. Let me show you. So let's go in here, and we're doing really, really big, wide stitches. Okay, and then all you gotta do is grab the 2 threads you got here, and you start gathering everything. Do the same thing here. And you try to do it in a way where your little folds are equal. So I've gathered it. It's not a lot of folds, which is fine because we don't want too much frou-frou, right? There's a dot right here, and then there's a dot right here. And those dots are at, let me calculate, they should be at 5/8, and they are. So this is where the sewing is going to happen. So we got to put this here. It's got to taper inside, so I'm going to place this one here. Alright, and then I have to keep the edge of the lace. Let me show you a bigger piece of lace. They don't tell you that, but I kind of figured. You see how I have the lace part and then I have the salvage? Alright, this part right here has to be right at 5/8 of an inch from the edges, because when I'm going to do this part right here, which is the front band, this is going to get sewn at 5/8, and it's going to catch right on the edges of that piece of lace. And then what will happen is that it will get folded like this and back in. So you'll have the fabric here and the lace basically caught in a sandwich in between. So you don't want to see that salvage part. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, that's how I understand it. So we're going to try 5/8. If it doesn't work, I'll have to figure it out. So I'm going to use my little gauge here. And every time I hit 5/8, I'm going to start basting it. Okay, so this is done. So basically, when it's, if done properly, it should be looking like this. Let me show you where there should be no, I have a feeling I'm gonna mess that up. But anyway, it should be looking like this, with of course a nice stitching, edge stitch right here, but you should not be seeing the salvage. All right, I think I am done for this video, so I'm gonna say goodbye. Well, this actually was in 2 sessions for me, and then I filmed the intro and outro on the 2nd session. It's actually Tuesday night. It's raining, so no garbage picking. I might as well just do this. I'm enjoying it. You know, it doesn't matter if you're good at your hobby. It really doesn't matter. First of all, the more you do it, the more you're gonna get the skills. All right. Nobody knows how to do this stuff right away, and I really don't have anybody. Man, I wish my mom was here, but I don't have mom. I'm sending her pictures. She gives me thumbs up so far, but you know, I don't have anybody to teach me, so I'm teaching myself, and it's not easy. It's not easy, but I'm doing it, and I have the courage. It's not about courage, it's about desire and motivation and all of that. There's no bravery in this, you know, but I really want to learn to sew, and I'm not going to learn to sew unless I make mistakes, and unless I just jump into things and you know, make mistakes and adjust as I go. Now, I have to tell you, the first time I made darts, I had no idea what I was doing, couldn't figure it out. This time around, boom, 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 darts done. So you see, it's about the repetition and the dexterity. Now, the dexterity is not there yet. I am a quilter, if I could even call myself that, but this is what I do. I can quilt. I can cut pieces, put them together, 1/4 of an inch seam, all of that. Little tiny pieces, I have the dexterity for that. But the scissors, I still can't figure out how to hold scissors. You know, the cutting in all sorts of angles. I'm not there yet. I'm not there. So I have to keep doing it. And I tell you what, if the shirt looks good, I'll wear it. If it doesn't, I won't. Or maybe I'll wear it in the house, or maybe I'll just wear it when we go out. But I don't care, because that's not what it's about. It's about learning, right? So I hope you enjoyed this series. Again, Patreon, folks, this is a bonus video. It's not in lieu of regular scheduling. And then YouTube, you're seeing this 3 weeks later as part of the regular programming, because I had a whole crowd that was really upset when I said I was going to move my sewing to Patreon. So it's back. I'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hey, it's me, and guess what? Click that thumbs up if you really like this video. Thumbs down twice if you didn't. You can also share my video if you really liked it, or save it to watch later. Also, you can subscribe to my channel, but don't forget to click that bell button so you are always notified when I post a new video. Thank you for watching.